Yo, what is up guys, Molly here. Welcome back to a new video, and just before I get started, if you're not subscribed already, remember to go ahead, click that red subscribe button and the bell icon so that you're always notified when I upload, and then you're part of the Dino Squad, which is the best. So the other week I went and collected pretty much 90% of all my GCSE art stuff. Now if you didn't know, I did art for GCSE, and if you want to know what I got in art, go ahead, click the icon and watch me open my GCSE results, which wasn't too bad, to be fair. Everything went pretty smoothly. Now I will say, just to not spoil everything, I did get a high grade, so this is a decent piece of art, not to be modest. Some of the stuff is bad though, and I don't know how I got the grade I did. So there is one set of things that I haven't got. Basically, I've not got it because when I went to go get them, everything was kind of everywhere, so they weren't able to get me the stuff at that point, and then they were like, come back after school like the next day, but I wasn't in school like for the full day or anything like that, and so then I kind of just forgot, and I kind of can't be bothered to go back now, so yeah. But that was basically a thing called a maths project. It basically meant if you hadn't done anything 3D, then you had to do that, so that there was something in the craft side. This was basically just a mask that was pretty shitty, not gonna lie. I did a tiki kind of mask, and then there was just some drawings and stuff and a poster thing. Nothing too exciting. So in the course of the 2 years that I did art for GCSE, I did 3 topics. I did the start topic, I did the mock exam topic, and I did the exam topic. So the first one we did was inside out, food, and then for the exam I chose to do angles. Now my overall experience with art for GCSE was a bit meh. Like, going into it at the start, I was like, yes, I really love art, I can't wait to do this, and I had always wanted to do art for GCSE since year 7, so I was like, yeah, this is going to be fun. But throughout the year, to be fair, me, along with pretty much everybody that did art, well, obviously not everybody, but majority of people, we kind of, because we were forced in to do certain things or to do certain topics and stuff, we kind of just lost the, like, passion to do art outside of school. So that has definitely faded, but I have gone on to the A-level to do photography, which is part of the art and design course, because I do prefer that a lot more. People have either picked their subjects already and then moved on to year 10, or possibly in the process in year 9 of picking them, or have just picked them, or might be picking them in a bit. I'm not quite sure, I can't remember when we picked them. So yeah, this, if you're wanting to know, this is a general gist of some of the stuff I did in art. Obviously it might have changed with the new spec being 1 to 9 for me. Obviously it was A star to like U pretty much. This was the first book, which was for Inside Out. Now, as you can see, I drew a little thing on it because why not? So we first come to the mind map. Now this is actually one of my favourite mind maps that I did. I don't know why, just in some of the fonts and stuff, like especially this one for the ideas bit. But yeah, so what I basically did, I just made it colourful and clear what was happening, and I did things like this. Make it artistic, make it you. That's all I can say is you don't want to do a crappy, just normal one you would do in any other subject. You want something that's going to stand out. Advice as well, you want your sketchbook to be cohesive throughout, which I definitely have in my last sketchbook, because you don't really get told it, and it's a bit annoying when they're like, oh, everything needs to look the same after you've done everything. Piece that I actually kind of like, because obviously this was called Inside Out, we had to draw something that we thought meant inside out. So I did a portal, and basically like going inside the portal to the outside world and that sort of stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. It's not drawn and painted the best, not gonna lie, but I did something. As you can see, this mind map does not look like anything my other mind map did. And I got, not told off, but they were like, oh no, more artist stuff. You get the initial ideas. So these could have been some ideas off the very first mind map or not. But basically you just take some ideas from throughout the sketchbook that link to it and come up with stuff, do little doodles. So I ended up taking David Hockney's joiner idea that we had looked at, and basically thinking I'll do that as a background in black and white, basically because I didn't want to paint it, not gonna lie. And I thought I would do a tree. Don't ask me why I did a tree, I wanted to do a tree. And then I would put a person in it, and this person would have two feelings, kind of like Gustav Klimt, and they would basically be split down the middle. So I took some photos of my brother and drew them. Then come on to the evaluation in this book, for this book. Then come on to the final piece, which was a 10-hour mock piece, as we were doing this like a mock exam. Now obviously this did end up taking about over 10 hours because we weren't like pushed to do the time frame, but we did it in a mock style. And this is what this looks like. Now I don't think this came out too bad, like it could have definitely come out a bit better, but I do generally like the detail in the face. And I do like the look of the background in general. In certain parts obviously it's a bit dodgier than others, but considering this was my first piece, I'm not overly fussed about how it came out at the end. So the next topic we did was, well, I chose to do food. There was a few topics, but this was basically the most popular one with our class, and I also decided to colour it in with like a donut. And this sketchbook started off really well with this being the first drawing in there. Now this is a drawing of some gobstoppers in a packet, because yeah, it was food and it looked pretty cool. I thought it turned out pretty sick. And then the other one I did was of a lemon, which again I thought came out pretty decently, and the sketchbook was off to a really good start. An artist study, and I copied this person's picture. This is theirs, this was mine. And again, the sketchbook at this point was doing really good. Looked at the gobstoppers one that I did, and I was like, how would I be able to make some 3D gobstoppers? Look at this. Now this is fallen off, but it's meant to be there. And I mean, doesn't look like everything fits together perfectly, and also it was very hard to paint this and paint it with detail. So that idea kind of did go away quite quickly. One of my other ideas was to do with an apple, so I was like, let's draw some apple pictures. Now I really like this one, how this came out. I think it was a pretty successful drawing. The rest of them, meh. Okay, that's alright as well. Then I just took some photos of apples as well. With this project, this was the first draft of trying to make this apple cut, and I really loved all these colours that came on the top of this, and I thought it was like, this was a really good idea. It just didn't look overly much like an apple. So in the exam, this is what I made. Now it came out so much darker than I was intending to, but I was overall pretty happy with it, and I was like, this is somewhat decent. I could say that's an alright-ish piece, not the best. We now move on to the exam product, and in this I chose to do angles, and this is how I did my little thing. Now this sketchbook is very thick, purely because there's 3D stuff in here, because this one ended up to be 3D. Star Wars figures that my dad had, and I drew this, which I do think looks pretty cool, and yeah. I looked at an artist and I did an artist response. Now for this artist response, I made this. Yeah. Basically this person made pottery and just formed every shape possible known to mankind. And they were grey with like colour on, so I was like, yeah, let's do this, but not in clay. And that. Neville Page. And if you don't know who Neville Page is, go check him out. He was a judge on the show Face Off, which is all special effects, and so that's what he does. He's a creature and concept designer, and I wanted to look at him because I was looking at doing face distortions, and obviously he changes the face to look like aliens, so I thought that would come in pretty good. I made this out of clay. Yeah, you can kind of see a face shape in there with the eye and the mouth, but this just didn't work and it looked a bit crap, not gonna lie. But I wanted to try with clay because I do actually enjoy working with clay, but it didn't turn out how I intended it. Did some exam planning, and this was the initial plan for this. Now this was after we'd done a slight mock plan, I'm pretty sure, and I was like, crap, I don't know if I can draw eyes, but I told myself I'm going to draw a face. So I full on started with eyes, and I found out, here's a new talent, I can draw eyes. Our piece we had to do just to make sure we could do something in the exam that was like half the scale and kind of half what we were going to do. And this is what I did. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool as in drawing aspects. Now I put that on upside down by accident. That should be that way around. So then, we have the actual exam piece, which is big. Like, hi guys. I basically had to make it bigger. I had to use pulp and paint. So, yeah. This was my final exam piece. Now as you can see, I got to the eyes and I knew there wouldn't be enough time to paint all the eyes properly with colour, so I was like, I'm going to make sure every eye is the same and it's just the blue pupil. So I am really pleased with quite a few of these 3D pieces in here, especially this nose and some of the other ones in here. Definitely some of it was better on the original 5-hour piece where it was just drawn, but you know, everything can't be perfect in life. If you're doing art this year, tell me if you've got any of the same topics or ones where you've had the option to do the same topics as me. Comment it down below. Also, how are you finding art if you've just started it or you're in your second year of art? But if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big fat thumbs up. So remember, click here to subscribe, click here to go see a video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy, and click over here to go ahead and watch the Dino Games trailer. Because if you haven't seen the Dino Games, you should do. They're pretty sick. But for now, I'm Molly, and I'm signing out. Right.